So breaking news, this came out of nowhere. The English dub for Demon Slayer Season 2 has started. And of course, this is the first arc of Demon Slayer Season 2. It has officially started, it's begun, and you can watch it. Although, this is good news, obviously, but it clearly leads into possible bad news, and you're probably like, how does that even make sense? Well, bad news for the future of the English dub for this season. Just this season, that's all we're talking about. We're talking about Season 2 English dub. And I'll let you know right now because that's what we're talking about right now on the Konjic channel.
Give me some sense of beans, yeah, I need to regenerate. I'm about to go off like I'm the Avatar state, and I can say...
If you've seen my last video on the Demon Slayer Season 2 English dub, I basically explained to you all the variables in place for the second season's English dub. People were complaining about not seeing it. People were complaining about, my gosh, we don't even have a release date. What's going on? Hearing nothing. This is crazy. That's what everybody was talking about. But I spoke to you about all the variables, and I'm not gonna bring that all up right now because that'll just make this video super extra long, and that's already its own video. So go check that out. You might be even wondering what's the point of checking it out if we already have the English dub. Well, because we do and we don't. We do and we don't. You might be like, Konjic, I'm seeing the episodes right now. We do. And I'm like, well, we do and we don't. You're like, what are you talking about? I'm seeing it right now. I'm like, well, you do and you don't. You see, they did something I was really not expecting. They released all the episodes of the first arc. Just the first arc, okay? So we're not caught up with the sub. Okay, now, this automatically will make you assume that when the next arc finishes, you're gonna get all the dub episodes for the next arc. Not true. This arc is majorly different in terms of what it means for the show. Do you know why? This arc is made up of scenes from the Mugen Train movie that already came out. That movie was already dubbed, which means those episodes were pretty much ready to go because all you do is split up the movie into episodes. The only thing is they had new animation from parts that weren't in the movie because of course it's a little extended because there are parts that weren't in the movie. There are extra parts. There's even a whole first episode that pretty much makes up almost the entirety of what the dub for that was. So like the new stuff for the dub that you didn't see in the original movie and dub, most of that's in the first episode of things you didn't see. So basically all they had to do was dub one episode and then all of a sudden it would be ready. But what we didn't know is if we were going to have to wait for the deal to go through with Toonami for Demon Slayer, just like Demon Slayer Season 1, to start releasing in the English dub. Because it's like when it comes to that deal, we would have to wait for it to air on Toonami, but with this we do not. Why? Because this technically goes with the rights of the movie and technically kind of doesn't. Which means for the second arc, we might still have to wait the same amount of time that we would have originally had to wait for when it came to the Toonami thing. So this arc might release now as we're seeing it, but when it comes to seeing the episodes of the next arc, as in the arc we've never seen, because if you've seen the Mugen Train movie, you know what's gonna happen in this arc. But if you want to see the new content, which people predominantly call like the main part of Season 2, a lot of people don't even acknowledge the first part as Season 2 because it's already from the movie. If you want to see the next part, that means you're probably going to have to wait for that to air on Toonami. If it doesn't, that means the deal with Toonami, with Adult Swim, with Warner Brothers fell through and they no longer have basically the licensing to do so, and it'll make it much easier for us because then we'll automatically get in on streaming. And no, that does not mean we're gonna get a lineup of episodes just like we did with this. You have to remember these episodes were done way ahead of time because it's just parts from the movie. So of course they could have done this, especially with the sub already being so far out. They could have easily done this. For the next arc, this does not mean we're gonna get everything all at once the same way as they did like this. If they do, well, that's an interesting choice. That's highly unlikely, but it's an interesting choice. Now, if you want to see the first arc of Demon Slayer Season 2 English dub, go to Crunchyroll and Funimation. It's streaming now. English dub. Go ahead, you can watch all the episodes. But if you want to see any episodes past that arc, like the main part of Season 2, you still can't see it. We're still waiting for the release date. It's still in development. We have to wait and see. But the Mugen Train arc from the movie that's now a part of the show, you can check it out. So, if you want to know all the stuff that goes into waiting for the next arc, like the proper Season 2 for this in English dub, go watch the next video, the last video on the channel about this, and you'll be able to see. But, my name's Konjic, I love you, and I'll talk to you in the next video.
And I can say that I'm great, yeah, I can say that I'm perfect. I ain't the one that was out here saving lives, I was purchased. Now we about to take you out if you try to act toxic. I'ma send you straight up to my main man, Konjic.